Sorry? Okay. The chair recognizes.
If you want to go down all these roads, right? One of the things we have to admit, if you want to have a consensus across the board, is the ability in our country to execute public projects, period, which has nothing to do with politics, But if you go back, let's go back to the airport. As far as I remember, we left in place $150 million to finance 3 airports.
That's what they say.
One of them was the North Eleuthera Airport.
You understand
In
the
the
problem?
4.5 years you were in office, the airport wasn't built.
yeah.
So we come back here, the airport is not built,
He was the sports.
and the money is
Talk
gone.
about the baseball stadium.
So what's accounted for that?
Talk about the baseball
It
stadium.
is, because what you're doing is you're telling a story, and as for parts and the complaints of people in North Eleuthera, everybody gets the complaints about people from North Eleuthera. And I've said before, there's no monopoly on whether we feel for the people of North Eleuthera. We don't fix pumps. We don't order equipment. We stand advised as to what is spent. So everything, you can rest assured that everything beside putting, I don't know, something right up to the fella's head and say, go and fix the pump, this administration has done to make sure that we know what the economy of North Eleuthera can produce. So you can't put that on us. All we say is we agree with you. It has to be fixed. We've ordered to be fixed. We've supplied the money for it to be fixed. And the people of North Eleuthera and Harbor Island should know that we have done all that we can do. And tomorrow we'll on them together. Say what?
What's preventing us from getting it done?
God only knows. God only knows. That's the way it is. And I could tell you story after story in everybody's ministry. You do everything you're supposed to
He
do.
was just in cabinet.
And you've been in the cabinet, so you understand what it
They
is.
couldn't fix nothing.
Well, again,
That's 2 years.
Again, like I said, one of the reasons, Madam Speaker, I'm just wrapping up. One of the reasons, like I said, we would listen to the member for Fox Hill. He says God only knows why they haven't gotten it right despite all of their best efforts. All I'm saying, Madam Speaker, is the administration, this administration is in the chair. And since they are unable to fix the problem, thank God in 2025, because I believe they're going to go early, we would have an opportunity to come in. North Eleuthera, South Eleuthera, we are going to bring relief to the problems that presently exist. And so,
The chair recognizes the honourable
you want
member
us
for
to work
Fox
with you or
Hill.
work against you?
This is the thing.
Only
This is
one member for Central and South Eleuthera. Only one.
This is the thing which I don't appreciate. I appreciate. All fun and joke
Hey,
aside,
Micah,
the member
we got a member for North Eleuthera.
starts talking
We got a
about the
member for
problems.
North.
And we're trying to explain to the public what is happening with the problems. I thought this was a genuine effort across. But then you come back and say, we can be gone in 2 years, but you can fix the problem. That ain't a genuine effort. You're making a political point. Right. So what I'm saying is, it'll be fixed long before you have an opportunity to run for office again. There's no question about that. But let me ask you this, the same member, right? I don't understand, because I don't fix patches in a road, but I got a road in Roma Street. The road has been dug up by the Water and Sewage Corporation 4 or 5 times. It's a 10-minute thing. 10-minute thing. Lundy ain't got nothing to do with fixing roads. You don't fix the road, nor patching the road. I'm trying to make it a point now about how things operate. And I go, I don't understand why you gotta dig up the road, and then you fill the road in, and then 2 weeks later, somebody comes and cuts a little square around it, and then another 2 weeks goes before the fella shows up with the patch. Now, what I got to do with that as the member of parliament fixing the road? I called the Water and Sewage Corporation. I called this one, that one. The road is still not fixed. People have to do their jobs. People have to do their jobs. Right.
And so your cabinet colleague that has oversight for those agencies have to then make a serious decision in terms of putting in place in those various corporations persons who will execute. It's either you deliver or you depart. That's what has to be done. So you
missed the whole point.
you sit
You missed the
next
whole
to your
point.
colleague and then you have to call
No,
a
you
fellow
missed the whole
who
point.
reports to
You
your
missed the
colleague.
whole point.
Huh?
You missed the whole
No,
point.
I got your point.
You missed the point.
I got
You
your
missed
point.
the point.
No, I got
You
your
missed the
point.
point. No, we got the solution, but the next thing you'll do is you'll jump up and say, oh, you victimizing this one, and you're victimizing that one, and blah, 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 you know? So you can't win for losing. So all I'm telling you, member for Marco City, is that every day, every one of us soldiers on with this system we have to fix the problems, and they will be fixed long before you have the opportunity to go to the public again. And I hope Minutes gives you the chance, but we can see 1st of June.
The end of my presentation.
With respect to the road being cut and patched on a consistent basis, we realized that that was indeed a nuisance, and it is a nuisance. So when I was parliamentary secretary, we passed a policy in here where an application for a permit had to be made in order to cut the road. It's coordinated with the Ministry of Works. Whether it is the utilities company, water and sewage, a power company, or private entity, you apply for a permit. If it is not approved and you cut the road, we levy the fine, I think up to $10,000. So I want to make sure that that is still enforced to discourage this kind of nonsense that continues to just irritate us.
In another place, when the act was passed, and I told your leader at the time, we only wasting time, because, you know, passing an act to say, if the Water and Sewage Corporation don't patch the road, you can fine them $10,000. Well, fat chance that'll ever get enforced. But, you know, all I'm saying is, your leader keeps talking stuff about, so he called me an old man last week, and so I now talking out of my head. That's essentially what he was saying. Huh? I don't want to be nothing except what I am. What? Yeah, no, you know, I am what I am. I am what I am in my full splendor and glory. Yeah. I'm headed to the glory land. But what was I talking about again? Yeah, what I'm saying is, no, what I'm saying is that I was making a serious point about something that I have made from the time I got here this past time. And I've said to my colleagues that the bane of any country, I got this, it's not an original thought. Michael Manley, when he was defeated in 1980, I was a journalist. I went to speak to him. And he said the number one issue for his government was the inability of the public administration to carry out the decisions of the political direction. And I remain saying that today. You can do cabinet conclusions, you can do whatever it is you want to do, right? Unless you can get the public administration to execute, I'm sorry, you're whistling Dixie. And that's all I'm saying. We have to find a way to get on top of that issue. And every minister here struggles with that issue. The last time you said we were throwing the public servants under the bus, they're not doing that either. All I'm saying is that's the way it is. And it may be nothing more than this. I cannot understand why. If you announce a meeting in this country is supposed to start 7 o'clock, why you figure the meeting got to start 7:05 or 7:10? And I'm standing around the meeting saying, look, it's 7 o'clock. Why is the meeting not started? Oh, we can start in a few minutes. No, you're not. You can start now. It's 7 o'clock. And then you want to drag everybody through 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Everybody, going to call every name in the book. I want to recognize this one. I want to recognize the next one. I want to recognize. By the time you finish all of that, then they come and say protocol being adopted, and then they still call 20 names after that. I mean, what is this? These are all cultural things in the country, I mean, goodness, and it just, I've had, with 32 odd years of this, I keep saying the same thing. We can act more efficiently, and both sides have to adopt that. Start on time, do not let these things run on forever, and do what you're supposed to do. There's a system we've now adopted with this cabinet thing that you all left us with, this electronic cabinet thing. Efficient, my God. I mean, it's just, well, that's the only thing it is. That's the only thing it is. I'm not sure, it probably ruins the jungles in the Congo by all the lithium you have to put in the computers. But I'm saying, yes, right. And so all I'm saying is, that's the more serious point I was trying to make in the exchange, is that the issue is, how do we execute? And there's a cultural issue which has to be attacked if we're going to get to the bottom of it. And as for the children, I mean, Sandilands Primary School, no one can beat me in the investment in Sandilands Primary School. No one. I dare anyone to say it, right? Because we know that that's the future. But for 4.5 years, your colleague let the community center, which was built and gifted to the people of Fox Hill, let the whole thing go to pot. The pool turned green. Green, not used once during that period. I got some private donors during the period that spent $20,000 to donate a computer lab, not used once. The computer's still sitting, not once, not touched. Wow. All of which to help young people. So don't come with that.
The chair recognizes the honorable member for Freetown.
The problem though is, this minister will tell you, the problem is more than just this individual issue. There's a more fundamental problem that has to be addressed. And that is, we've switched to a system in this country of reverse osmosis. So there are companies which are supplying water to these areas. They've made certain promises in order to deliver the water. There's contracts that were signed which bind us to a particular thing. And the question is, are they delivering the service? And can the government actually do what is necessary in law without getting into legal issues by taking the action which we should take? Now that's the problem. Sorry? Say?
You're running towards
I'm with you. I'm with you. But you know, you have to go towards danger slowly. And that's all I'm saying. This is a very complex problem. Very complex problem, even though it seems simple to address. And these people have made promises to correct what they're doing, but promise after promise has not been carried out. Promise after promise broken. And we get the brunt of it because, of course, there's no water. That's the issue.
The chair recognizes the honorable